to Heroes of the Golden Age. We've got another new show for you today, a character that we haven't ventured with yet. And to venture with this character, we're going to be leaving the concrete jungle and going to a much more literal jungle as we check in with Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle. Now, as a kid, I remember watching the old black and white movies. Not a whole lot of depth to the character that I grew up with. It was he's just this guy in the jungle. That's pretty much what I knew as a kid. Later adaptations got a little bit more of the background and history of the character. You know, Lord Greystoke, the plane crash, being trapped in the jungle, kind of how he got there. That all came for me much later. So I'm very curious to see how this version approaches the character and how they interpret it. So without any further ado, let's get into the first episode, which is Tarzan and the Decoy.
From the heart of the jungle comes a savage cry of victory. This is Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle. From the black core of dark Africa, land of enchantment, mystery, and violence, comes one of the most colorful figures of all time. Transcribed from the immortal pen of Edgar Rice Burroughs, Tarzan, the bronzed white son of the jungle. And now, in the very words of Mr. Burroughs, the story of Tarzan and the Decoy.
Long ago, Tarzan had learned to hate the Tarmangani, the dread white men who came with their thunder sticks to cheat and rob and kill. Nor had he any great love for the Gomangani, the black men. But his need for human companionship was beginning to make itself felt. And for many months he'd remained in the camp of the Punya tribe, teaching the lore of the jungle to Torgo, the small native boy.
Torgo's arrow hit the target, right in the middle.
That was a fine shot, Torgo. You learn quickly.
Now Torgo be great hunter. Bring home much meat and many skins. Torgo leave for forest now.
Torgo, come back here.
You want me for something, Tarzan?
Sit down. Sit down. Here, Torgo, on this rock.
Yes, Tarzan.
Torgo, someday you will be a great hunter. But now you're only a very small boy who's just beginning to learn the secrets of the jungle.
Torgo hit the target.
Yes, a target stuffed with grass and leaves. But in the forest, you will find targets that move quickly, that have inside them not grass and leaves, but treachery and cunning and great strength. There will be many lessons before you can go into the jungle alone.
But Torgo wants to hunt Numa the lion and bring home the skin for his mother.
I have a new game, Torgo, if you aren't too old for games.
A new game?
Yes. We will tie a long rope to Manu, the monkey, and at the end of the rope we will tie the target. Then, as Manu runs, we can pretend that the target is Numa, the lion, fleeing from our arrows. Doesn't that sound like fun?
Yes, I guess so.
And if you hit the moving target, Torgo, you will have learned something new, and Tarzan will go into the jungle and bring you back a prize. Perhaps a lion skin to give your mother.
But if Tarzan and the small Torgo were engaged in a harmless game, the game that was being planned in a small cafe in Nairobi, in the Kenya country, was far from harmless. There, Varian, the wild animal agent, sat at a corner table in the foul-smelling, dimly lighted room. As he sipped slowly from his glass, he scowled at the huge hunter who sat opposite him.
I can't stand stupidity, Hammett, and you're stupid.
You can't talk to me that way, Varan.
I think I can, since I'm the only one who'll take the injured animals you bring back from the jungle.
Can I help it if some of the elephants get hurt when they drop into the pitfalls? You sell them, don't you?
Only because I find new buyers each time. And right now I have a market for 100 perfect bull elephants.
Where am I going to get 100 perfect specimens?
I'm going along this time, Hammett. And we're going to bring them back from the Punya country.
That's Tarzan's country. He'll never let us get 100 elephants out, Varan.
And Tarzan's not going to have anything to say about it. Because, you see, I plan on capturing him, too. He'll make quite an attraction in some sideshow.
Don't make me laugh. You've got as much chance of capturing Tarzan as you have of getting 100 elephants without injuring any of them.
I admit that the odds would be very low were you directing the hunt, Hammett. But I intend to use cunning in place of brute force.
How do you mean?
You've been capturing elephants by building pitfalls. Is that not right, Mr. Hammett?
Of course it's right. You know that.
Stupid as you are, you probably haven't even heard of building a great keddah for them.
A keddah?
A stockade, a corral, big enough to hold 100 huge bull elephants.
And after we've got it built, we send the bulls an invitation to come in. Huh, Varan?
In a way, we use specially trained, tame female elephants who have been schooled in the art of luring the bulls into the enclosure.
Yeah. Come to think of it, I have heard of that system. But what about Tarzan?
I'm going to use a lure or a decoy to capture not only the elephants, but also the mighty Tarzan.
Huh?
The decoy with which I plan to lure Tarzan is my daughter, Zaira.
What?
I think you'll agree that Zaira's beautiful.
She's gorgeous.
And clever and ruthless. Just as the tame female elephants have been trained for their job, so have I trained Zaira.
It's the craziest thing I ever heard of.
I take that as a compliment, Hammett, for only by a fantastically mad plot can Tarzan ever be captured. Rest assured, my stupid friend, that when we return to civilization, we shall have the mighty Tarzan in chains.
We shall return in just a moment with the story of Tarzan and the Decoy. A few days later, a mighty safari set out from Nairobi. A troop of vicious native askari with guns strapped to their backs. Gimlet-eyed mahouts leading the decoy elephants, huge cages, and near the end of the bizarre parade, surrounded by giant Senegalese guards, came a great metal-covered wagon. Inside were the masters of the safari, Hammett and Varin and the excitingly beautiful Zaira.
Oh, this heat's unbearable already. Hammett, get me something cool to drink.
Okay, Zara.
Miss Barron, if you don't mind.
I was just being nice. I'm not your servant, Miss Barron.
Get her to drink, Hammett, and address her the way she said, and without sarcasm.
I'm darned if I will.
There! Maybe that'll teach you some manners.
You slapped me.
Next time I'll call the guards to do it. They get their pay from me, and I think they'll do what I tell them. Now, get my daughter the drink she asked for.
All right. Here you are, Miss Barron.
Thank you, Hammett. I didn't really mean to start a fuss. I guess the heat makes us all a little ill-tempered.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Here, sit down by me. Tell me you do forgive me.
Don't waste words on that fool, Zaira, and save your charm for Tarzan. He'll be worth a fortune to us when we bring him back.
Don't worry, Father. I won't fail you.
Weeks followed weeks, and the safari came closer and closer to the land of the Punya tribe. But Tarzan was unaware of the coming of the dread Tarmangani, the white men. He sat alone in the native compound. The Waziri were away on a hunting trip. The women were out searching for dye roots, and small Torgo, armed with his bow and arrows, had wandered toward a nearby riverbed. Suddenly the ape-man's nostrils twitched. His keen senses came alive. He had caught the scent of Numa, the lion. He rushed toward the riverbed, but Torgo was gone. The grass was still bent where the native boy had been sitting, and Tarzan followed the spoor from there. It led in the same direction from which Tarzan had sensed the coming of Numa.
Torgo! Torgo!
Tarzan ran through the forest, approaching rapidly the roar of the lion and the scent of the native boy. And then suddenly he came into a small clearing. 20 feet in front of Tarzan stood a ferocious lion, and just beyond the lion stood Torgo, trying to hold his toy-like bow steady as he aimed his arrow.
No, Torgo, no, don't shoot at Numa.
Yes, Torgo, shoot.
No, you'll only wound him.
Tarzan grasped a hanging vine and swung upward, then leaped from tree to tree, approaching the snarling animal. He was just overhead when Torgo let go an arrow. The animal opened his cavernous mouth with rage. He crouched lower, then sprang. And at the same moment, Tarzan leaped down, his knife flashing in his hand. He caught the lion in midair, circling its throat with one steel-corded arm, and with the other he plunged the knife deep into the lion's brain. Again, and again, and again. Then Tarzan put one foot on the dead animal and raised his head in the gesture of the victorious aboriginal ape.
Yes, we killed Numa.
Mother be proud of Torgo. Now we skin him and take home meat and fur.
It's not far to the village. I'll throw Numa over my shoulder, and your father can skin him when he returns home.
Torgo is very brave. He heard Numa in the forest, and he ran to find him. Torgo ran so hard his legs hurt.
When Torgo's mother hears about this, some other part of Torgo is going to hurt.
Oh, Tarzan, you treat Torgo like a tiny balu. Torgo, not a baby.
No, you're a fine little man, and I want you to live to be a fine big man. The jungle is alive with dangers of all kinds.
But Numa is dead. Torgo's arrow killed him. Tarzan's knife helped, though.
Numa has many brothers and sisters in the jungle, and Sheeta, the panther, hunts for food. So does Dango, the hyena, and Gimla, the crocodile, and many other fierce beasts.
I don't see them now.
Our enemies seldom reveal their coming, Torgo. And yet, for one raised by the apes, the scent of distant animals comes from afar. The sounds of an ant walking can be heard in the distance.
Tarzan teases Torgo. How can Tarzan hear an ant walk?
Does Torgo hear anything now?
No, Torgo hears nothing.
Tarzan hears something. Far in the distance, men are driving stakes into the ground. Do you know what that means, Torgo?
What does it mean, Tarzan?
Men are building a camp. No other native tribe would dare build in the Punya country, so it means that the most dangerous enemy of all has come again. The white men have returned to Tarzan's jungle. The Tarmangani are here.
When the sun had dropped from the sky, Tarzan swung over the almost completed walls of the Keddah and sat in a crotch of a tree examining the camp of the enemy. 3 of them stood before an enormous metal-covered house on wheels. One was a small, cruel-looking man. One was a huge, muscular man with the figure of a hunter. And the third was the most beautiful human Tarzan had ever seen. He swung down noiselessly and dropped a few feet from Baron and Hammett and Zaira.
Where did he come from? How did he get here? Who is he?
Guards! Guards! Wake up, you lazy fools! Guards! You need no warriors. Tarzan means you no harm.
Tarzan?
It's all right, Cooler. Never mind the guards. You should have told us right away that you were Tarzan.
You know my name?
The fame of Tarzan has spread to many countries.
No one ever said how handsome you are.
My ape mother thought that I was ugly because I was different from the other Balus of the tribe.
We've heard the story of your adoption by the apes, Tarzan. It's incredible.
Not as incredible as those muscles. I've never seen anyone like you, Tarzan.
Nor have I ever seen anyone like you. What do they call you, White Goddess?
My name is Zaira.
And my name is Varin. And this is Hammett.
Zaira, Varin, Hammett. Why do you come to Tarzan's jungle?
Well, we're on a sort of scientific expedition.
Then why do you build a Keddah?
Let's go inside. We can talk a whole lot better over a drink.
I don't like the inside. We can talk here.
Well, it's getting cold out. I'm going in. Won't you please come in, Tarzan?
For the White Goddess, yes.
Thank you, Hammett. Now, fill Tarzan's glass.
No. Your wine is strong and your food rich. I prefer to dine on freshly caught game.
You might get to like a lot of things civilization has to offer.
That is true. I marvel at the wonders of this house on wheels you've brought into the jungle.
You might find the people outside the jungle as amazing as the things in their homes.
Yes, sometimes I am not satisfied with my friends in the jungle. Sometimes I long to know men of my own kind.
There are no other men of your kind, Tarzan. You're very special.
I think perhaps I'd better check the camp. Hammett, I'm sure you have things to attend to also?
Yeah. I was just going out for a breath of air.
The air does lie heavy here. I'm used to the smells of the jungle, and yet there is a heavy sweetness about this room.
It's my perfume, Tarzan. Do you like it?
Well, my daughter will keep you company, Tarzan. I'll return soon.
Don't hurry, Father. We have a lot to talk about.
Goga.
Yes, Juana?
I want you to wheel the special cage as far back into that clump of trees as you can.
So, Yana, come lama. So lama. Goga. Yes, Juana.
Have your men tear down branches and cover the cage, leaving only the opening uncovered. That's right. And when we get Tarzan inside, you're to close the door as quickly as you can. If you let him escape, I'll kill every one of you. Do you understand?
Gura, understand much.
May I come in?
Come in, Father.
Well, have you convinced Tarzan of the attractiveness of our world while I've been gone?
Your daughter makes your world appear very attractive.
Well, thank you, Tarzan. Is all in readiness about the camp, Father?
Everything is perfect.
Oh, pardon me. I guess the long trip into the jungle has been more tiring than I imagined.
The jungle is no place for a woman like you, Zaira.
I think you should retire for the night, my dear.
Yes, I think I will, if our guest will excuse me.
Oh, of course. Your father and I will talk outside. There are questions you have not answered, Mr. Varin.
Oh, no, stay here and talk. I'll sleep better if I take a little stroll before I turn in. I'll be back in a few minutes, Tarzan.
Don't go far. The night jungle is full of harm.
I couldn't be afraid with you here. If I were to meet any trouble, I'd call out.
Good.
You would come if you thought I were in trouble.
I would dare the steel jaws of death for you, my white goddess.
In just a moment, we'll continue with Tarzan and the Decoy. Zaira made her way quickly toward the distant end of the compound, there taking her place behind the heavily camouflaged cage of steel. And in the meantime, Tarzan tried in vain to get a straight answer from the slippery-tongued Varin.
And the keddah you've built?
Oh, just for collecting some specimens of animal life. For study. We'll set them free later.
Good. Because in Tarzan's country, animals are killed only in self-defense or for food. Wild things are left free.
That is as it should be. Only sometimes a man who thinks he's free... That's Zaira. She's in trouble.
I must get to her. I'm coming, Zaira.
Save me, Tarzan! Save me!
Tarzan raced out of the van, his fleet footsteps carrying him rapidly in the direction from which Zaira's voice had come. And behind the cage, deep in the brush, crouched Zaira, leading Tarzan on.
Tarzan!
Leading him toward the cage.
Straight ahead, Tarzan! Straight ahead! Save me!
I'm coming, Zaira.
Hurry, Tarzan! The panther's about to spring!
Steady now. He come. Now. We catch Tarzan.
He's not in there, you fools.
No, he not in there. Dark. Gura not see. Where he go?
grabbed a vine and swung himself up just at the last minute.
Where is he?
Tarzan escaped. Not go in no cage.
What went wrong with the plan?
I will tell you your mistake, Kamangani.
It's him. No, Father, don't shoot. Find out what went wrong.
What mistake did we make, Tarzan?
At the last minute, the white she-devil yelled that a panther was about to spring. But Tarzan did not catch the scent of Sheeta the panther, only that of Pamba the rat.
Kill him!
Your bullets are as crooked as your tongues. I shall return, Kamangani.
Gora,
Yes, Wana.
there are to be no rations for the men tonight.
But hunter need food. Tarzan say was because white lady say panther
I'm not
come-
discussing the matter with you, Gora. I'm telling you. And if your men aren't more successful in hunting elephants than they were in capturing Tarzan, I'll pay only half the gold I promised you.
We see, Wana.
Let go me.
All right, you come along now and stop your biting.
Well, what is that you have with you, Hammett?
It's a little native boy. I found him sneaking around the camp. Probably see it, trying to find out what he could steal.
Not steal. Meet Torgo. Look for my friend Tarzan.
Oh, is Tarzan a friend of yours?
Good friend. Me sneak away from village to find him.
Oh, for goodness sake, let's go back to the van.
Not so fast, my dear Zyra. Tarzan's friend here is going to be very valuable to us.
Tie him up and throw him into the cage, Hammett. We now have fresh bait for our trap.
Tarzan traveled north, away from the whites, away from the Punya tribe, away from all men. But the next day, he learned that elephants were being lured into Varen's Kedah, and a desire to help his wild friends joined a growing urge for revenge, and he turned back in the direction of Varen's camp. When he was almost there, he saw a lone hunter in the woods, and the man was Hammett. Tarzan leaped down, knocking the gun from Hammett's hands and raising his gleaming knife to Hammett's throat.
Oh, please, Tarzan. Let me speak.
What have you to speak of?
They have your little friend, Torgo.
Torgo. Varen has him? You lie.
No, I swear it. They're going to use Torgo to try to catch you again. You said you'd return. I'll show you how to save him.
Why should you do this?
Because I'm an animal hunter, not a man hunter. I never liked the idea of trying to capture you, and I don't like the idea of holding a small native boy. That's too much.
But you're still one of Varen's men.
A footstool for him to kick around. Him and Zyra. Well, they've kicked me for the last time. I'm in this with you. If you'll trust me, Tarzan.
I have to trust you. Tell me your plan.
There's the hiding place of the first sentry. But be careful. He's a fierce Senegalese.
Tarzan can handle.
Those are the last two, Tarzan. At the edge of the Kedah and behind the tangled growth to the left.
We must finish this quickly.
That takes care of the guards. Only Varen and Zyra and the porters are left in camp now.
Gura is the head man of the porters,
Yeah.
and he's next.
Me friend of Tarzan.
How do I know that?
Gura see guard disappear. No say anything. Gura, his men not fight Tarzan.
I can't count on that.
I swear, Great Bwana, no black man raise hand against you. Us hate devil Varen. Us hate she-devil too. Like dog they treat black men.
All right. Tell all your black men to leave the camp at once, then.
Is so, Great Bwana. Varen and she-devil soon be left alone.
Of course, I'm scared. Elephants trumpeting and kicking against the sides of the Kedah. Not a soul in camp except us.
Come on. We've got to get to the cage with Torgo.
Well, at least it's on the opposite side of the camp from the elephants. Where did everyone go, Father?
Tarzan must have taken them.
One man. We got rid of Hammett, and then the Senegalese, and the porters, and the Askari. How?
I don't know. But as long as we have the native boy, we have a chance. Keep your back against the cage so you can't be surprised. You take one side and I'll take the other. Here's a rifle for you.
Oh, I wish they'd stop that. It's getting on my nerves.
Torgo want out. Torgo scared.
Shut up or I'll turn this rifle your way.
Torgo's legs and wrists hurt. Loosen tongs, please.
Shut up, I said.
What was that?
That Tarzan.
It sounded like a signal.
Look, there's Hammett. He's over there by the gate that holds the elephants.
Maybe he will
He's opening the gate. He's letting them out.
They're coming this way.
We'll be killed.
Run! Run, sailor! We can get away! We can...
Everything was swept away by the onrush of the elephants as they fought their way back into the jungle. Varan fell beneath their mighty hooves, and the cage that had held Torgo was smashed in 1,000 pieces. Broken fragments of 2 rifles littered the ground. But high overhead, a great bronzed god of the jungle held under one arm a small native boy, and under the other, the most beautiful creature he'd ever seen. As the herd disappeared in the distance and the dust settled, he placed them both on the ground.
Torgo no feel good. Want to go home.
I'll take you home, Torgo.
No. Don't leave me, Tarzan.
Hammett will see that you come to no harm.
Hammett. He was the one who opened the gates. He killed my father.
I'm sorry, Zaira. I planned to save him, too, but he ran into the path of the elephants.
It was horrible.
The jungle is a place of violence. Gora will gather his guards, and a safari will be formed to take you home.
But I have no home now. My father's gone. Tarzan, let me stay here in the jungle with you.
You shall go back.
But you called me your white goddess. You said I was beautiful.
Your beauty is only of the outside. Inside, you're as cruel and as ugly as the civilization that spawned you. And to that will you return.
We'll return to tell you about the next story of Tarzan in just a moment. In our next story, we relate the experience of Tarzan and Black Ivory. Black ivory, a precious commodity, more sought after than white ivory or gold or diamonds. A search that spells danger and hatred and death deep in the heart of the jungle, deep in the heart of Africa.
Tarzan, a transcribed creation of the famous Edgar Rice Burroughs, is produced by Walter White, Jr., prepared for radio by Bud Lesser, with original music by Albert Glasser. This is a Commodore production.
All right, well, that was interesting. I didn't really dig the whole lion fight thing, though. I gotta be honest. I'm a cat dad myself. I have 2 little ones, Cooper and Cal. Not really into the whole fighting the lion thing. So, yeah, that kind of took me out of it a little bit. So, but the rest of it was enjoyable. I did kind of, yeah, it was. I don't know. That the lion thing just really kind of took me out of it. But continue it on, give it another chance. And let's get into episode 2. Like they said, Tarzan and the Black Ivory.
From the heart of the jungle comes a savage cry of victory. This is Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle. From the black core of dark Africa, land of enchantment, mystery, and violence, comes one of the most colorful figures of all time. Transcribed from the immortal pen of Edgar Rice Burroughs, Tarzan, the bronzed white son of the jungle. And now, in the very words of Mr. Burroughs, the story of Tarzan and Black Ivory.
Stories about the Marwa tribe had drawn Tarzan to the far mountain country, where, according to the legend of the lowland, there lived a super race. The people had been described as 7 feet in height, and it was said that they could wrestle with Sheeta, the panther, outrun Bara, the deer, and bend a young tree for a bow. The legend proved an exaggeration, but Tarzan did find the Marwa people exceedingly tall and handsome and strong. None possessed more of these jungle attributes than Velda, the dusky, dark-eyed daughter of the chief.
Tarzan, not catch Velda.
I'll catch you all right. Watch out. Here I come. So I couldn't catch you, eh?
Tarzan. Tarzan, help Velda onto a rock.
All right. There you are. Oh. Well, then, do you admit that I can swim faster than you?
Tarzan swim faster and run better than any Marwa. And that is why my father, the chief, make Tarzan son of tribe.
I'm happy about that, Velda. For I've never known any tribe as brave as yours. As ours.
Never before have Marwa take stranger as son. And this only because Tarzan is mighty hunter and fisher.
Well, if I'm a good fisherman, I better take these fish I speared back to the camp and clean them.
Oh, no, Tarzan must not.
What?
Oh, that is job for Tarzan's woman.
Tarzan's woman? Oh, now, wait a minute, Velda.
Oh, does not Tarzan like Velda?
Of course I like you.
And is not Velda beautiful in Tarzan's eyes?
I think you're as lovely as the blossoms of the jungle acacia. But you are the promised one of Kalo.
Oh, no more. Not since night Tarzan bested Kalo in wrestling contest. Now, only Tarzan can marry daughter of chief of great Marwa tribe. When Goro the moon comes to fullness again, Velda will become Tarzan's slave forever.
I don't like that word slave, Velda.
Huh?
You'll never be any man's slave, not mine nor anyone else's, so long as I have strength with which to fight. The reputation of the great Marwa tribe had spread even so far as Port Said on the edge of the distant Mediterranean. There, in a ramshackle building on a narrow side street, a man in the flowing robes of the Bedouin thought about these great, strong people as he waited for a caller.
Enter.
I can hardly see. That you, Egypt?
It is indeed, Captain Marco. Ajib Ben Zaman bids you enter. And close the door.
Okay.
Come near to me, mighty captain of the sea.
You're going to hold that mighty captain of the sea business and tell me what all this mystery's about.
I know of no mystery, my worthy captain.
Not much you don't. Sending one of those Hawkeye messengers to my ship and making me meet you here in this part of town? What do you want?
Your tongue is sharp, friend, for one whose ship cannot find cargo among the reputable merchants of Port Said.
All right, so you found out I'm broke. So what?
Ajib Ben Zaman wishes but to improve the fortunes of his friend. I know of rich cargo for your ship to carry to distant ports.
The kind of cargo you ship is too risky.
But this time it is neither the seed of the poppy nor the guns our government has elected to term contraband.
What then?
This time you shall carry black ivory.
Black ivory?
To translate the jargon of a crass world, slaves.
Slaves? In this day and age?
There are still many markets, including countries which claim to be opposed to all forms of slavery.
Well, maybe so. But I'm not getting into a racket like that.
I think you are, Captain Marco. There is much Ajib Ben Zaman could arrange to have the port authorities learn about some of your past cargoes.
Well...
You will profit handsomely. My emissaries tell me of a Marwa tribe whose people are tall and handsome and strong. They will bring many pieces of gold.
Suppose I agree. How do you know I'll still be in port when you bring 'em back?
Because I'm taking you with me, Captain Marco. My men wait outside this hall now. One will carry a message back to your ship. A message wherein you command your crew to await your return when your business in the jungle is completed.
How do you know I won't spoil your game?
I have planned long for this. I have come many days' journey for this meeting in Port Said. Anyone who attempts to spoil my game will die. I care not if the infidel is a man of the sea or a creature of the jungle.
We will return to Tarzan in just a moment. The mournful whistle of the Cape to Cairo Railroad engine sounded in the night. And aboard the train traveling from Port Said to Fashoda in the Sudan country were Captain Marco, Ajib Ben Zaman, and the cunning sheik's two fierce Bedouin followers, Kadur Ben Hussein and Badr Ben Jafar, who sat in a corner saying nothing, but their hands remained on their cusas, and their narrow eyes seldom left their sheik and the infidel dog sea captain.
Why do they keep sitting there staring at me?
Perhaps they doubt your full enthusiasm for our plan.
Maybe they're right. 4 men going into the jungle to try to capture a whole tribe of huge savages.
When we leave the train at Fashoda, we will be met by my men. More than a double score of cunning shiftas skilled in the art of taking slaves.
I see.
They will have with them camels and fleet Arabian horses, the tools of their trade, and the wherewithal for a comfortable menzil.
Menzil?
Encampment.
Oh.
Forgive me for forgetting that you are a cultured foreigner who knows not the crude language of Mohammed.
Yeah. Well, so these shifter guys catch the blacks. What then?
We return all the way to Port Said by caravan and load them directly into your ship.
And no one stops us or asks questions, huh?
No one questions the content of a closed packing case unless there are sounds of protest from within.
Yeah, that's just the point. You think those blacks aren't going to scream murder?
For those that babble, there is always the heated iron that removes the tongue almost painlessly.
The weeks passed, but the moon had not yet come to its fullness, and Tarzan wrestled with the problem of breaking off with Velda without causing her hurt or making angry his brothers of the Marwa tribe. Already one of them, Kalo, to whom Velda had been promised, looked upon Tarzan with unfriendly eyes. This day, Tarzan walked from the camp deep into the jungle. Following him at a little distance came Velda, and following her stealthily came Kalo.
I heard someone. Who follows me?
It is but your promised one, Velda.
You should not follow me, Velda. Especially not when I walk into the jungle.
Why does Tarzan wander away from the Marwa camp?
I am not used to being with people all the time, Velda. Perhaps I shall never learn.
When the moon comes full and we are married, then Tarzan be real son to my father. And then perhaps it will be easier in the mind.
I'm afraid not. Velda, how can I tell you? What words are there to explain that I can't marry you?
Tarzan would shame Velda before the tribe. He has claimed her in ceremonial wrestling match. And now
Hush. Shh. I hear someone. Though the wind is against us, I sense the coming of enemies.
I care not for enemies. If Tarzan will not have Velda, then
Be still, woman. Who comes?
I come.
Kalo.
What do you want, Kalo? Why do you follow me?
Tarzan take Kalo's woman, and against law of tribe, he steal into woods with her before nuptial feast.
I did not steal into the woods with her. I came for a walk. She followed to talk to me.
Kalo see Velda cry. Surely Tarzan bring dishonor to tribe. Marwa make mistake when he take Tarzan as son. Tarzan not true Marwa.
I am sorry, Kalo.
But Kalo change mistake of tribe. Cleanse name of Marwa tribe with Tarzan's blood.
Oh, no, Kalo,
Kalo's knife flashed high over his head and came down with terrific speed. But the sinewy hand of Tarzan caught Kalo's wrist, and the knife dropped to the ground. A moment later, Tarzan's knife clattered to the ground as he fell with Kalo on top of it. The men rolled over and over, locked in savage struggle. Velda turned her back and ran, right into the path of another spectator, Bolgani, the gorilla. Picking her up in his gargantuan arms, he hugged her to his hairy bosom and fled through the forest with her, as Tarzan and Kalo continued to struggle.
Wait! That's Velda!
Velda in trouble.
Help! Bolgani taking me away!
Come, Tarzan.
We're coming, Velda!
Behind those rocks. Kalo, see them.
No knife and no bow.
Could not shoot anyway. Hurt Velda.
Bolgani's putting her down. It's getting ready for us. Now!
Help him, Kalo! Help him!
No! No, Kalo, take Velda back to village! Run!
No! Kalo, help!
No, Kalo! If Bolgani kill us both, what will happen to Velda? Take her! Run!
Come, Velda!
No, we cannot leave him. I won't.
What Tarzan say is true. I must take you and run. I carry you.
No, don't make me leave him. Don't leave Tarzan. Bolgani will kill him.
Now Velda and Kalo were forgotten as the two animals of the jungle, man and gorilla, fought for their lives. The gorilla's huge claws ripped into Tarzan's flesh. The leaves and the dirt were red with blood. Now Bolgani grasped Tarzan about the middle and began to squeeze with the enormous strength of his tremendous arms. Tarzan's breath left his body, and his mind began to cloud. And then suddenly Tarzan's powerful hands found the gorilla's bull-like neck. They closed around the huge throat, and they squeezed tighter and tighter. Tighter. And at last, Bolgani's arms relaxed. The hideous jungle creature fell to the ground. Tarzan stumbled a few steps, and then he fell at the base of a great tree, exhausted. Only then did an interested group of spectators emerge from behind the large rocks and walk to the scene of the savage battle.
The savage is unconscious.
Did you ever see a fight like that, Bedouin?
No, Captain Marco. Never before have these eyes seen such a struggle.
The gorilla dead?
He has gone to his maker. Men, tie up the savage.
Tie him up. Can't you see that he's white under that bronze? We're not hunting for white men.
What we do with an Azraini is to be decided by Sheikh Ajib Ben Zaman. He has a great reputation for wisdom and for his own particular brand of mercy.
We'll continue with our story after this message.
So you are Ben Zaman.
My subjects call me by that name, but I find your form of address and your manner exceedingly impertinent for a prisoner.
When I regained consciousness, I told your men I'd come willingly. But your subjects insisted on prodding me and keeping me tied up. Tarzan is not used to such treatment.
Tarzan? You are the famous Tarzan?
Some call me Lord of the Jungle.
Kador, why have you taken this man prisoner? Untie him at once.
I told him he was making a mistake.
You are wise, Captain Marco. Here, I'll cut the bonds myself.
Thank you, Ben Zaman. I was told you were a wise man and you live up to your reputation.
I apologize for what has transpired. You are my guest. Ibn, bring coffee and viands. Pray be seated, Tarzan. Captain Marco. Kador.
I shall sit with you, but I eat not the food of the Muslims. You will excuse me?
Can't say I blame you, son. Coffee, they call it. Full of cloves and cinnamon. And so sweet it makes you sick. And the food, like some dive in Damascus.
I forgive your crude remarks, Captain Marco, and I excuse you from sitting with us.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Good luck to you, Tarzan.
Thank you, Captain Marco.
I cannot apologize enough for the indignities you suffered at the hands of my men, Tarzan. Perhaps you will permit me to repay you by offering you the hospitality of my humble menzil.
I am very tired. I will accept your kind offer.
Hayat! Show Tarzan to obey it, containing a soft mat on which to sleep, and see that he has every comfort. May Allah grant you sweet dreams, Tarzan.
You are most kind. I shall see you when the sun is in the heaven.
I hesitate to question you, my sheik, but your actions furrow my brow with questions.
Fool! Have you never before heard of Tarzan?
No.
Many times in the past has he thwarted the plans of slave raiders.
And yet you treat him like a friend. We had him tied, helpless, and you...
Had we plunged a cuirass into him while he was bound, every native and every beast in the jungle would have united against us.
Yes?
But instead we shall treat him as a dear friend. We shall persuade him to remain for a few days. By tomorrow night, any doubts he may have had about us will have vanished. We shall be filled with sorrow when he is discovered dead in the next morning.
But you said...
We shall find Captain Marco, the Nazrani, guilty of the murder, and we shall shoot him for his foul deed. That way we can cause no enmity, and with Tarzan out of the way, our hunt for black ivory will be simple.
But won't we need Marco?
When we return to Port Said, we shall commandeer his ship. In that way, we need not pay the dear captain his share of the loot. Who comes?
It is Kador, my sheik. I bring a native who tried to steal by the sentries.
Oh, he looks like a healthy young buck.
Very strong and healthy, Bwana. Only me not steal past centuries. Me come to see a great sheik need work.
A native looking for work?
Me outlaw from tribe. Much strong. Do work good.
Wela, there is much work to be done about the menzil, and the shifters have little heart for it. What can you do?
Care for camels and horses, hunt game, cook for sheik.
All right. You can sleep with the animals, and we'll pay you what you're worth.
Me thank Bwana.
What name do you call yourself?
Name is Kalo.
Who steals into my tent while I sleep?
Hush, Tarzan. It is Kalo.
Kalo. How did you get here? Did they capture you?
No, Kalo come to free Tarzan. But you are not bound. We sneak from camp now.
Not yet. Do you know what these men are, Kalo?
Kalo knows. The sign's plain.
They fooled me for a little while. But when they thought I'd fallen asleep, I slipped out. I found a wagon full of wrist locks and leg irons. We can't leave until we've forced them to quit the jungle. But we'll need help.
Kalo have plan. Get help with jungle drum. Send message to all of Marwa tribe when camp sleeps.
But suppose they find you here?
Arabs know Kalo here. Work for Arab as hunter and cook.
part of plan. In morning, Tarzan must pretend he not know Kalo. Leave now.
Just a minute. Why did you come to save me, Kalo?
Sorry for fight. Kalo did wrong. Tarzan brave Marwat.
That night, Kalo's drum sounded in the jungle, and from far off came the answer. The mighty Marwa tribe would send their fiercest Waziri to fight the slave raiders, and they would follow the plan told them by the drums. The next day, the plan was whispered to Tarzan, and by the time the Arabs had gathered for their evening meal that night, the jungle that skirted the Menzil was alive with native warriors. They awaited the signal from the peaceful-looking bed of the sheik.
Bring us our evening meal. Pray be seated, Tarzan. Captain Marco, Kedor, Eben, the rest of you. My nose is assailed with a delicious odor.
Kalo the Black has provided us with a rare treat. He has hunted in the woods all day and has returned to cook the fruits of the hunt.
Approach with the repast, Kalo.
Kalo, bring food. Meat much heavy.
The entire animal turned on a spit. You are a rare jewel, Kalo.
Meat is wapi, the antelope. Taste fine, only too much for few men. And Kalo have more meat to bring in. Call rest of men.
That is a noble thought, Kalo. But all are present save for the sentries.
Kalo in woods all day. No enemies near camp.
He tells the truth. Our men comb the forest. No natives.
If Gomangani were near, Tarzan would have caught the scent.
Well, all right. Let the others come in. They've been restless, and a good meal may help. Summon them, Kedar. Now then, the food.
Looks like good seafaring grub for a change.
One must admit the jungle furnishes fine food for those who know how to capture it, Tarzan.
The jungle holds no mysteries for those who are part of it. But for those who would destroy it, there is much danger.
A month I've waited for a decent meal.
Here are the others. Enter, men. Partake plentifully of the meat. Kalo, more food.
Kalo, bring. Here is fine roast animal.
With an aroma like rich perfume.
Oh, this is something like eating.
This meat Captain Marco asked for.
Huh?
This porta, the boar.
A boar?
The greatest of insults. Bringing the flesh of a swine to the table of an Arab. And you ordered it, Captain Marco.
I swear I...
Taunting us about our coffee and our food, and then this insult. No man can insult the faith of Ajib Ben Zaman.
Look, I never...
You sneaking infidel, dog!
You can't slap me, you rat!
Ajib is reaching for his gun.
And as the Arab sheik fell, pandemonium broke loose. Kedor dropped. Marco fell with accusa in his heart. And as the confusion mounted, a horde of fierce Waziri flooded into the tent, wielding wicked knives left and right. And Kalo and Tarzan led the battle until no Arab remained in the Menzil of Ajib Ben Zaman.
The full moon has come, people of Marwa tribe, and we are met for the marriage of Tarzan and Velda. Are you ready for this marriage, my daughter?
Yes, my father.
Are you ready for this marriage, Tarzan?
Great Chief, members of the Marwa tribe, before I came to your village, Velda was the promised one of Kalo. I won her from him through a wrestling match that was meant to prove me braver than he. But since then, many things have happened. I was caught by the Tamangani, and I was forced to go to their camp. But the brave Kalo came willingly into the camp of the enemy to save my life and to save all Marwas from slavery. He has proven himself bravest, and I cannot claim Velda for my bride.
You have spoken true, my son.
And I decide. Velda, would you take Kalo as husband?
Kalo and Velda promised since childhood. Velda take Kalo with happiness.
Kalo, would you take Velda as wife?
Kalo embraces Velda as wife, and Tarzan as greatest of Marwat tribe.
So be it. Let nuptial feast begin.
We'll tell you about our next story in just a moment. In our next story, we relate the experience of Tarzan and the Hooded Death. Nowhere in the jungle is a danger so great as the one to be feared from the Hooded Death. Elephants and lions and tigers shrink from its approach. Savages scream at the mention of its dread name. And you too will feel the chill of terror in the story we relate.
Tarzan, a transcribed creation of the famous Edgar Rice Burroughs, is produced by Walter White, Jr., prepared for radio by Bud Lesser, with original music by Albert Glasser. This is a Commodore production.
All right, I was able to get into that one a little bit more. And yeah, Tarzan gets himself into a lot of trouble by listening to his little head. Like, he was chasing that chick in the first one, got him, almost trapped into all that danger in that whole confrontation. Then in this one, he's like hanging out with the chief's daughter, being all flirty and all that, trying to get some. And then all of a sudden, she's like, "Yeah, we'll get married." And he's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" And he's out of there, going. Oh, come on! He was kidnapped. He was chilling out in that other place. He was taking a break from her. He was using that as a distraction. But at least he did the right thing. Got them. Well, it looks like he did the right thing and got them together. He was just looking to get out of that marriage in any way he could, and that other dude was like a scapegoat for him. Worked out because the other two were into each other, and they really should have been together anyway, because let's say they've been in love since they were kids, so Tarzan would have been kind of a dick to just turn around and get in the middle of that. But anyway, I know we normally been doing 3-episode runs for shows, but due to some other time commitments today, we are only going to be able to do 2 episodes of the premiere of Tarzan, so we will get into more of his adventures later. So for now, it's time to leave the actual jungle and get back to the concrete jungle. And I will see you all next time. Thanks for tuning in.
They left from the pages in capes and flight, shadows of justice in the dead of night, silver and spandex from the time gone by, lifting us higher as they touch the sky. Heroes of the golden age fight the fight, blazing bright in the neon light. Beneath the stars we light our way, legends live in the golden age today. Blazing through cosmic dust, ray guns flashing in a world of rust, masked avengers with the daring flair, saving the future like they always dare. Heroes of the golden age fight the fight, blazing bright in the neon today. Time can't hold them, they're bold and true. From reels of the past to a screen near you. Golden whispers in electric glow. Watch the champions steal the show. Heroes of the golden age fight the fight, blazing bright in the neon light. Beneath the stars they light our way. Legends live in the golden age today.